Did you know that Albert Einstein, like just a month before he passed away, actually confided in a close friend that he felt like an involuntary swindler?
Oh, wow, no. That's really wild to think about.
Right. I mean, let that sink in for a second. The guy who literally redefined our entire understanding of the universe genuinely believed his life's work didn't deserve the attention it got.
He actually thought he was a fraud.
Yeah, he thought he was, pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. And so, if the literal architect of the theory of relativity felt like a fraud, what hope do the rest of us have?
Yeah, it completely shatters that illusion we all have.
The illusion that things just get easier.
Exactly. We tend to think that eventually, if you just achieve enough things, the self-doubt simply evaporates on its own.
But it doesn't. And that's why we're here today. Have you ever scored incredibly well on a test, gotten into a top college, or landed a great opportunity, only to secretly think, well, they must have made a clerical error?
Which is such a universal experience, honestly.
It really is. And if you constantly feel like everyone else is smarter and that you will eventually be, found out, I just want to assure you that you are definitely not alone.
Absolutely not alone.
So today, our mission for this deep dive is unpacking that silent, widespread struggle known as imposter syndrome. We are pulling insights from a really comprehensive guide called Unmasking Imposter Syndrome, a guide for young achievers.
And it's a fantastic source. We're going to bypass the boring dictionary definitions today, though.
Good, because I feel like we all kind of know the textbook definition anyway.
Right. You are listening to this because you already know the feeling.
That cold sweat.
Yeah, that cold sweat when you get a promotion or that sinking dread when you read an acceptance letter. But to quickly define the beast, at its core, imposter syndrome is when highly capable individuals completely doubt their own intelligence and achievements.
And this happens despite clear, undeniable evidence of their success, right?
Exactly. Instead of feeling pride, these individuals attribute their wins to, well, just getting lucky or having fooled everyone.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why is this inner voice of doubt so incredibly prevalent among students, freshers, and young professionals who are just, stepping into these competitive spaces?
I mean, you really have to look at the massive pressure that defines this specific phase of life. It is like a literal pressure cooker.
Oh, totally. The stakes just feel impossibly high all of a sudden.
Yeah, you are dealing with heavy academic expectations, the underlying fear of disappointing your family, and this bizarre societal demand to somehow figure out your entire life by the time you're 22.
Which is ridiculous when you say it out loud. And the guide points out something else too, social media. It is like trying to run a race while staring at everyone else's finish line.
That is a great way to put it.
Because young people are constantly bombarded with stories of peers succeeding, way faster. You open your phone and see someone landing a high-paying internship or launching a tech business.
Right, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, social media only broadcasts the highlights and the major milestones.
It entirely erases the reality.
Exactly. It completely erases the sleepless nights, the failures, and all the messy behind-the-scenes struggles behind those successes.
So you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel.
Yeah, and that distorted reality is what really fuels this intense feeling of being behind in life.
Which leads right into the real-world sabotage. Once we understand why this syndrome thrives, we really need to look at the collateral damage it causes in daily life.
Because it's not just a passing thought, it actually manifests physically and emotionally.
Like how? What does that actually look like?
Well, it can be intense fear before exams, despite overstudying, because they feel they aren't, naturally smart.
So they compensate by studying constantly, but the panic never goes away.
Right. Or it looks like sitting completely silently in group discussions at top colleges out of this false sense that you don't belong there.
Oh, wow.
And in the workplace, it's outright dodging career opportunities or literally rejecting compliments from mentors.
Just flat out refusing to believe someone when they say you did a good job. Because this syndrome infiltrates so many different areas, academics, careers, emotions, it makes sense that it doesn't look identical for everyone.
No, it adapts. It really does.
Yeah, the guide categorizes these coping mechanisms into 5 distinct behaviors or types. I like to think of them as different styles of weighted vests that drag young achievers down.
That's a really good analogy.
So let's talk about the first mask, the perfectionist student.
Yeah, so this type believes anything less than 100% is an absolute failure. They tie their entire identity to a flawless outcome.
I know so many people exactly like this.
Right. They will score a 92 out of 100 on an impossibly hard test, and they won't even acknowledge the 92. They obsess solely over the 8 marks they lost.
That sounds exhausting. And then there's the second type from the text, the expert learner. This is someone who constantly delays applying for jobs or like answering in class because they feel they need just one more course,
Right.
one more certification.
They're always just one step away from being quote-unquote ready.
Wait, isn't it actually a good thing to be highly prepared, though? Where is the line between smart preparation and imposter syndrome procrastination?
That is such a crucial distinction. Smart preparation has a clear endpoint. It leads to actual execution.
Okay, so when does it become a problem?
It becomes a syndrome when preparation is used as a shield to avoid stepping into the arena. For the expert learner, the feeling of being ready is a moving target they make sure they never actually reach.
I see. Because if you are always preparing, you never have to risk failing or being exposed.
Exactly. And that maps perfectly onto the third type, the natural genius.
Oh, right. This type operates on the belief that intelligent people shouldn't have to try hard.
Yeah, they think success should just flow naturally. And the danger here is that when things finally get tough and they actually have to sweat and struggle, they don't blame the difficulty of the task. They doubt their own brain power.
So the moment they have to exert effort, they interpret it as proof that they aren't a genius after all.
Right, which is just a heartbreaking way to live.
And it leads directly into the fourth mask, the soloist. Since the natural genius is terrified of looking dumb, the soloist views asking for help or mentorship as a fatal sign of weakness.
Yes. To them, needing guidance is basically waving a giant flag that says, I don't belong here.
So they just choose to struggle entirely alone.
They isolate themselves completely, which obviously just makes everything harder.
Which brings us to the final type, the superhuman youngster.
Oh.
Because perfection is impossible, they try to compensate through sheer volume.
Right, they try to juggle the academics, the gym, the social life, relationships, and side projects with flawless execution.
And they feel immense guilt if they ever just, take a nap or rest.
Because, for the superhuman, resting literally feels like failing. Constant productivity is their only defense mechanism.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the virus and we've unmasked the 5 types. Here's where it gets really interesting. How do we rewrite this faulty code?